I looked at the timeline and realized he was down in that area.
An accused killer's brother testifies against him in his murder trial. Good evening, everybody. On the witness stand today, Daniel French's brother told the jury he had a feeling his brother was involved in Howe's murder.
Howe's loved ones also testified today. The woman disappeared from her retirement home in Monroe, and police found her body stuffed in the trunk of her car. Local 12's Larry Davis was in court today for the testimony, and he has more on what the jury heard. Larry.
Hi, Cammie. There was key testimony today from the witness stand in the murder trial of Daniel French as the prosecution continues its case. Now, there was family of the victim and even the brother of Daniel French testifying for the prosecution. But it was the deputy coroner's testimony that may have helped the prosecutor in his argument for the death penalty. Daniel French has shown little emotion while listening to 2 days of testimony. Today he heard Barbara Howe's sister, Patty Marshall, describe her alarm after Howe did not return her phone calls.
I couldn't understand that, so I thought, well, I'm going to call her, see if I can get her. Surely she's home. And I didn't get an answer. And I said, Barbara, I can't understand why you're not answering my calls.
Howe's daughter, Donna Wesselman, told jurors it was out of character for her mother not to tell people she would do something like go out of town.
I knew that was not possible without her contacting me, my sister Barbie, her sister, Aunt Patty. It was not possible.
Also testifying for the prosecution today, Daniel French's brother, Kenneth. He had suspicions his brother may have been involved, having once worked at the retirement home.
He went missing. This is in the article in the newspaper. He used to work there. He had the outfit on. My daughter says, Dad, that's a lot of coincidence. You really need to tell somebody. I told her, I said, yeah. I said, I know that. I said, I've been struggling with that.
Deputy Butler County Coroner Dr. James Swinehart told jurors Barbara Howe bled to death, having suffered deep wounds to her neck.
There were 4 distinct wounds. You could easily see from the examination of the wound it was actually 4 different passes with the knife.
And Cammie, the key to that is key because the prosecution says now, according to the coroner, that she was indeed, she had her throat slit prior to her death. But the defense has argued all along that Daniel French strangled Barbara Howe and then came back a day later and then cut her throat. But the coroner disputed that today in his testimony. Live in Hamilton, Larry Davis, Local 12 News. Cammie, back to you.
That had to be so hard for French to testify against his brother, Larry, and he looked like he was getting pretty emotional, huh?
Oh, you could tell for sure he was having a real tough time with that. Here he was going up against his brother, testifying against him, and he admitted today that he had not spoken to his brother for the better part of 2 years since this case had unfolded. Very tough time.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Larry, thank you. Now, French has already pleaded guilty to aggravated robbery, aggravated burglary, and gross abuse of a corpse. His attorney says he'd also plead guilty to a murder charge if the death penalty could be taken off the table, but the prosecutor has refused.